7 types of people who never deserve a second chance according to psychology. If you've ever given someone a second chance and lived to regret it, you know some folks just don't seem to change. Psychology tells us that there are certain types of individuals who, more often than not, do not deserve that second opportunity. And it's not because they're inherently evil, but simply because of their behavioral patterns and attitudes. These people might be manipulative, dishonest, or consistently let you down. They might leave you feeling frustrated, upset, or even betrayed. Now, this isn't a blanket statement for all people. It's not a one-size-fits-all rule. However, according to psychological insights, these 7 types of individuals often prove to be more trouble than they're worth when given another shot. So let's dive in and explore these 7 types of people who, according to psychology, usually don't merit a second chance. Habitual liars. We've all told a white lie here and there, but there's a significant difference between an occasional fib and a habitual liar. Habitual liars will distort the truth at every turn, often for no apparent reason. They create a web of deceit that's hard to break through, leaving you constantly second-guessing their words and actions. In relationships, trust is paramount. When someone consistently breaches that trust with lies, it creates an unstable foundation that's hard to rebuild. You might find yourself constantly on edge, unsure of what's real and what's fabricated. According to psychology, habitual liars often lack the capacity or willingness to change their behavior. This makes them one of the 7 types of people who typically don't deserve a second chance. Remember, you're not being harsh by refusing to give a habitual liar another shot. You're simply protecting your mental and emotional health from further damage. 2. Overly agreeable individuals. It might seem odd to include overly agreeable individuals on this list. After all, aren't these the kind of people who make life easier? Always ready to go along with your ideas and rarely causing conflict. In reality, though, constant agreement can be a sign of a deeper issue. These people might lack a sense of self, have a fear of confrontation, or be trying too hard to please others, all at the expense of their own needs and desires. Over time, this can lead to resentment, passive aggressiveness, or even an identity crisis. It's unhealthy for them and can put a strain on your relationship. Such individuals might not be able to establish a balanced connection until they learn to assert themselves and cultivate their own identity. So, while it may seem harsh, giving an overly agreeable person a second chance before they've worked through their issues might not be in anyone's best interest. 3. Emotional vampires. Emotional vampires are individuals who drain your energy, leaving you feeling exhausted, anxious, or depressed after spending time with them. They thrive on creating chaos and drama, often at the expense of those around them. These people can be manipulative, controlling, or overly needy. They might consistently turn conversations back to themselves, disregard your feelings, or demand constant attention and validation. Interestingly, emotional vampires often lack the self-awareness to recognize their behavior. They may genuinely believe they are the victim in most situations and fail to see the negative impact they have on others. If you find yourself continuously feeling drained or emotionally depleted after interacting with someone, it may be a sign they are an emotional vampire. Keep in mind that your well-being matters too. Protecting yourself from such energy-draining interactions is completely justified. Unresolved past lovers. It's a tale as old as time. An old flame reappears, tugging at heartstrings and stirring up a whirlwind of emotions. Love, after all, isn't always rational, and it's natural to feel a sense of nostalgia or longing for what once was. However, it's important to remember that past relationships ended for a reason. If someone didn't treat you well, or if the relationship was unhealthy in any way, stepping back into that scenario without any substantial change usually leads to the same outcome. People can change, and it's beautiful when they do. But it takes time, effort, and sincere commitment. If an old lover comes back without showing evidence of personal growth or change in behavior, giving them a second chance might only lead to repeated heartache. After all, you're worthy of a relationship that brings you joy, respect, and peace. Don't settle for less just because of familiar feelings or past connections. 5. Chronic procrastinators. We've all been there. That last minute rush to meet a deadline, the frantic scramble to clean up before guests arrive, the stress of leaving things until the 11th hour. A little procrastination from time to time is part of being human. But when someone is a chronic procrastinator, it can become an issue that affects more than just their tasks. It can put a strain on relationships and create unnecessary tension, as plans are constantly delayed or cancelled. Chronic procrastinators often struggle with time management and may have difficulty following through on commitments. This behavior can leave you feeling overlooked, unimportant, or constantly in a state of waiting. While it's tempting to give them another chance in the hope they'll change, the truth is that breaking the cycle of chronic procrastination requires substantial effort and commitment. Until they're ready to make those changes, you might find yourself continually trapped in a cycle of frustration and disappointment. 6. Fair weather friends. We all know someone who's there for the good times, but vanishes when things get tough. These fair weather friends are full of cheer and support when everything is going well, but are nowhere to be found during life's storms. For instance, I once had a buddy who was always around for the fun outings, the parties and the laughs, but the moment I went through a difficult personal loss, they were suddenly too busy to lend an ear or offer a comforting word. Such friends can leave you feeling unsupported and lonely in your time of need. While it's not always intentional on their part, some people simply don't know how to handle others' pain or hardship. It doesn't make the experience any less hurtful. In friendships, as in all relationships, reliability and emotional support are key. If someone consistently shows they can't be relied upon in tough times, it may be best to reconsider giving them a second chance. 7. Persistent takers. In any relationship, balance is crucial. It's a two-way street, a give and take. But when someone is always on the receiving end without reciprocating, it can create an unfair dynamic that leaves you feeling used or unappreciated. Persistent takers may constantly lean on you for emotional support, favors, or resources, but rarely offer anything in return. They might be charming and likable, which makes it even harder to recognize this pattern. But here's the thing, you deserve to be in relationships where you're valued, not just for what you can provide, but for who you are. It's important to set boundaries and stand up for your own needs. If someone continues to take without giving back, it's not unkind to reconsider their place in your life. You have every right to surround yourself with people who appreciate and respect you, and that means more than just taking from you. Final thoughts. At the end of the day, remember this. You are deserving of respect, kindness, and reciprocity in all your relationships. It's okay to say no to giving second chances when someone's behavior has consistently caused you pain or discomfort. Every individual has the potential for change, but real transformation requires genuine insight and commitment. Until that happens, you have every right to protect your emotional well-being. You're not just a supporting character in someone else's story. You're the lead on your own, and you get to decide who deserves a role in it. Always choose people who value and celebrate you as much as you do them.